not handing over my praise and worship team to be signed with nobody that's been hanging out at Diddy parties. I'm not handing over my praise and worship team to be signed with no man who's up there sitting with Mike Todd on his podcast, laughing and joking, knowing Mike Todd should be marked and avoided. I'm just not doing that.
Soul 2819's worship team has been signed by Lecrae. What does that mean for the church? What does that mean for the worship? What does that mean for the body of Christ? Let's go ahead and check it out. Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Big Bleu. It's the channel where you find the truth, seek understanding, and be the light. I need a new stand. This thing is getting creaky. My goodness. So let's just go ahead and get right into it, y'all. So if you guys don't know, the homie Pastor Phillip Anthony Mitchell, his church 2819's worship, they have signed a label with Lecrae. I think it's called Reach Productions or something like that. Let me see. Lecrae, Reach Records. So they have signed with Reach Records, and there's a couple people that feel some type of way about it, and it's been pretty interesting. Let's just dive into it really quick, see what people are talking about on the gram. I mean, apparently this was an announcement. I'm a little late. I found out about this announcement, I want to say maybe 3 days before their first track dropped. And even then, I mean, is it? Let's see. Yeah, Reach Records. Okay. So I'm seeing it here. The first song that dropped, which is literally, I think, a week ago or 2 weeks ago, was, there was the first song produced by Reach Records. I think it's fire. And I think okay, let me just stop talking and let's go into what these people are saying in regards to this. So we have two videos. One guy, he has a pretty long video. It's from the intro. Let's go ahead and start with him and see what he's talking about. And as always, go ahead and like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you know every time a video drops. And even if you don't subscribe, go ahead and like so that somebody else can see this video. And, let's have a conversation about how y'all feel, because I'm going to say how I'm going to feel. But let's just go ahead and get to the first video.
Say what you want. I'm not handing over my praise and worship team to be signed with nobody that's been hanging out at Diddy parties. Not gonna happen. I'm not handing over my praise and worship team to be signed with no man who's up there sitting with Mike Todd on his podcast, laughing and joking, knowing Mike Todd should be marked and avoided. I'm just not doing it. I'm not handing my praise and worship team to be signed by this guy, Lecrae, who sees nothing wrong with fraternities, see nothing demonic about them. Lecrae, who says he gonna quote Kendrick and Corinthians. Look, I can go on and on about this dude who need to be marked and avoided. It's out there, y'all. YouTube, pray, God will show it to you. You gonna tell me you handed your praise and worship team over to Lecrae to be signed to Lecrae? Like nowadays, you don't even need a record deal. You can legit record music and put it on places like Bandcamp, okay? And people can purchase your music from there. You can distro kid. It's so many different ways to get your music out there nowadays. Like so many different ways. And out of all people, you let your praise and worship team sign to Reach Records, owned by Lecrae. You can't explain that to nobody, man. There's no explanation that can be given as to how you let your praise and worship team sign to a man who's supposed to be marked and avoided. If I was a part of that praise and worship team, I'd have looked at you crazy, Phillip Mitchell. I'd have looked at you crazy, bro. Like, what? This guy? Hold on, no, Pastor. We got to go sit down and can we go sit down and talk about this? Can we go sit down and talk about what this dude stands for? And what would you have done, Phillip? Would you have taken Lecrae's side? Of course you would have. Of course you would have told him, man, y'all don't be tripping, man. This brother is okay. He all right. Never mind what people are saying. Never mind. You can't tell me you was in your prayer closet and God told you, yeah, sign with Lecrae. That would be me saying God told me, yeah, sign with Rockefeller. And a lot of y'all mad and upset about what I'm saying because you don't recognize God's love in exposing people who are deceiving you because he don't want you to go down the same path that they're going down. But no, you better keep your mouth off the man. Listen, man, let me tell y'all something, man. God got soldiers out here. God got John the Baptist out here. I ain't new to this, man. God has soldiers out here that at his command, we gonna stand up and say what thus says the Lord. We gonna say what he tell us to say in all holiness and righteousness. I'm calling it out. It is what it is. You can get mad now. You probably might preach it from the pulpit. Just make sure you call out my name like I call out your name, though. Phillip Anthony Mitchell. Because ain't no way, bro. You hand over your praise and worship team to somebody who was cool about hanging out at Diddy parties and making it public. Bring witness to nobody there. Nobody there got saved. Nobody came to the gospel by Lecrae hanging out at the Diddy parties. Nobody. He did songs with Ty Dolla. Like, what does Ty Dolla know about blessings? Did Ty Dolla come to the faith? Nope.
It's interesting because I actually recently was looking at some of Lecrae's songs and I did see Ty Dolla Sign and I'm like, Ty Dolla Sign? That's interesting. But there's even an agreement or disagreement. There's a dispute even then when it comes to those that, claim to be of the faith that's doing songs, doing singles and stuff like that, being on the albums of some of these artists. We've seen this with Kirk Franklin. We already know how I feel about Kirk Franklin. And now I'm seeing this with Lecrae. And it's like, am I making excuses? I don't know. I may be making excuses, but this goes into part where I talk about the whole principle versus preference. It's not like, okay, I could be making excuses. Let's go to the next person and see what you're talking about.
So I just saw that Lecrae has signed 2819's worship team to his label, and I ain't gonna lie, like, I get it. Everybody want to make money. Everybody want to be in a position to where they don't have to worry about where their food gonna come from. And I understand that the church itself needs funds in order to grow and do what it need to do. But you ain't gonna sit here and tell me that Lecrae compromised. I'm just a rapper who raps about the Bible, not a Christian rapper. Lecrae is the guy to be signed to. I just don't think, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think that's the way you need to go. And I think one of the issues that we ignore all the time, especially as it pertains to these large churches with these large followings, with these on fire men of God, is a lot of these people lack discernment. You get so big and you get so caught up in what's going on that you don't take the time to really sit and meditate on if that's what you're supposed to do. And then a lot of times also you listen to the people of the church be like, man, that choir really bust, man. That praise team really be singing. And they're like, yeah, Lecrae wants to sign us. Lecrae wants to sign us. This is a great opportunity for us. This could get me out of working a 9-to-5. This could get me out of poverty. This could change my life. Instead of you relying on what you're doing to do it on its own, you're going to take a shortcut to an A&R or to a producer or to a label by a man that is compromised. And if y'all don't think Lecrae is compromised, then by all means, just ignore everything I'm saying. I do not think this is a good idea. I do not think this is a good look. We already got enough gospel singers that have been completely turned into R&B wannabes with Jesus instead of baby in the lyrics. You know what I'm saying? Right. So, I mean, like, when it comes to biblical leadership, when it comes to the right way to do things, I ain't gonna lie, I don't think that's the way to go, big dog. But then again, God didn't call me to be a pastor, so obviously I might not be.
So it's very interesting that he said, okay, I see what both guys are saying. I see what both of them are saying. And I will give it to this extent. I don't know Lecrae probably as much as these guys know Lecrae. I've seen several of his podcasts, his Deep End podcast, and as far as like what the first guy was saying in regards to him not really denouncing the fraternity that he's in, even after the countless people that have come, or maybe not countless, maybe like 2 or 3 people that have come onto his Deep End podcast and said that they've denounced because of XYZ, and that still didn't lead him into denouncing as well. Clearly he has his own reasons for not denouncing. Now, I'm not saying those reasons are justified. There are certain things when it comes to the idea of fraternities and sororities that I think in some instances, or in a lot of instances, seek priority over your love for God. And to me, that's an issue. Lecrae may not feel the same. So yes, that is questionable. And he did mention something about, and the thing that's important is that he did mention about going to Diddy parties. Yes. He definitely for sure did mention about going to Diddy parties. Based off of the information in which he was talking now, again, this is what he said, because I remember when this was happening, everything was going off with Diddy, and Lecrae was actually talking in regards to everything that was going on. And he was mentioning specifically when he had went to a party, he was there. He was at the party. He was at the, the all white gathering and stuff like that. And then once it got to a certain time of night, they was telling people, yo, things about to go down. You should probably go. And he's like, nah, what you talking about? I'm fine. So he decided that he was going to stay, but then he started to see what was happening, what was going down. And then he left, if I recall that correctly, based off of that one podcast episode. That's what happened. I don't think, based off what he's saying, again, allegedly, it doesn't seem like, based off what Lecrae was saying, that he was there for the whole party. Maybe he'd been to a couple and left early before things got crazy, but then this one time, or maybe it was this one party. I'd have to go back and verify, but it doesn't seem like he wasn't a constant Diddy party goer, knowing what was happening and everything that was going down. Y'all correct me if I'm incorrect. And he actually did say that he stayed for the whole thing. I could be wrong. So that part, understandable. If that was the case and he was there, I get that. And for the second gentleman, he was talking about, the church wanting to get the record labels and, trying to get money and this and the third. And I feel like that could be a stretch. I think, and Phillip Anthony was actually on Lecrae's podcast. I think it was a year ago. So to me, I think there was some relationship that came in part with that. I mean, Lecrae could have had any other church. He could have even had Mike Todd's church easily sign with them, but they didn't. Now, granted, I'm not sure why that is. I don't know the details behind that, guys. This is a realm that I'm pretty new to as far as the Christian record producing type environment, and even like knowing the difference between all the different churches and what they stand for and this, that, and the third. If anything, I know that Phillip Anthony's church is heavy on reading the scriptures, following the scriptures, and creating disciples and trying to get as much people into the kingdom as possible. Where us to other churches, like Mike Todd, we would say, really focuses on self. But I mean, hey, so going into the first song, I normally don't even give music much of a listen to. If it would have to be out of my own will. Somebody would have to bring it up and I'd be like, oh, okay, that's fire. Then I put it on my playlist. It's never often that I go and seek music or be like, all right, let me just let this random run and then I'll just listen to it, because I want to listen to something always that I know, something that I can sing to and stuff like that. So, and that's just me personally. It's just subconscious. But something about this really made me decide, okay, yeah, I'm going to listen to that. Let's see what they're talking about. Because I recall 2819, like there was one sermon that I was listening to. I came in just in time for praise and worship. And I wasn't sure what was going on. Like, if you told me 2819 was a new church, I would believe it, not because the musicians were bad, not because the singers were bad, but there was a song that they were singing and I didn't understand where the song was going. I didn't understand where the lead or the lyrics was really taking me, and I couldn't really comprehend everything that was going on. And of course, it was one of those repetitive songs. So I was like, I don't understand what this is. So when I seen that they're coming out with the whole record, and I'm like, oh, okay, well, let's see what they're talking about. And my goodness, this song is fire. And the crazy thing is, I've listened to Red Wine, which is Red Worship. I just call it Red Wine because it makes my daughter and my wife annoyed. I listened to Red Worship, listened to Hill's song, listened to Maverick City before everything started to get crazy and all that good jazz. Listen to who else? Even Mike Todd's church, Transformation. I didn't listen to it at first just because of my, I guess, dislike of the church and kind of what they do. But my wife just played it so much, and me being a musician, it kind of just stuck with me. And I'm like, all right, these songs are fire. So I listen to the songs, but I don't listen to it for the lyrics, which is important to me. This song, the music is not only fire, but the lyrics is like, woo! The lyrics is intense. The lyrics is bold. And I expect that from 2819. I listened to this song and I could be like, yeah, this sounds like a 2819 song. There was even, what was it? Transformation Church, there was one song on their album, and Bowen was on, not oh Bowen. I think Chandler was on the song. I can't remember which one it was exactly, but Chandler was on the song, and I was just listening to it in the car, because my wife had it on, of course. And as I'm listening to it, I hear Chandler, but I'm listening to the lyrics, and I'm listening to kind of the beat, the rhythms of the music itself, and I'm like, why does this sound like Transformation Church? Sure enough, he did a track with Transformation Church. So it's like, and even like with Red Wine, with Red Worship, I can tell when if it's their song versus a Maverick song versus a Hillsong song. And with 2819, this song is so specific, and it sounds like something that came from 2819. And I love that. So I just wanted to bring up the lyrics and kind of show the boldness when it comes to 2819, because if you listen to him, if you listen to Pastor Mitchell, he's heavy on reading the Bible yourself, understanding the scriptures, but you have to read the Bible. You can't just take the word of anybody else. Even him, he'll say, creating the discipleship, bringing people closer to God, and increasing the numbers that will be at the kingdom when Jesus comes or when they die. And speaking in the truth. He's heavy on that. So I want to bring up the lyrics to this song, because I'm not going to play it. And we're going to go to, what would you call this? And we're going to call this the bridge. I want to say that this is the bridge of the song. It's not the chorus. Yeah, this is definitely what we're going to call the bridge. And the bridge is really where it's like, oh yeah, this is only 2819 will be bold enough to say this out loud and exclaim it to the max of their voices. The firstborn from the dead is coming back again, riding in upon a cloud. Eyes will see and knees will bow. Those other gods are lies, idols who aren't alive. But there's one who wears the crown. Eyes will see and knees will bow. The Lamb has overcome. Testify of his blood. When we hear that trumpet sound, eyes will see and knees will bow. Glory to God the Son. The victory has been won. We await your coming now. Eyes will see and knees will bow. Just to exclaim that, even the part in regards to the idols. There's idols, there's other gods, but those are all lies. Whew, man, only something that I would see 2819 exclaim. And now that I'm thinking about it, I feel like some record labels may be, and let's just be truthful and honest. Yes, you can say that you can create your own music, but what sounds can you produce without a record label? Is the question. Now, I don't know. I just know that if you have a whole production, if you have a whole, a whole studio, whatever the case may be, and where you can add some extra effects, add some extra sounds, whatever that might entail, then yeah, that's different from actually having a record label and somebody has that ear to be able to produce the maximum level that the song could be. That could be different than, something that the worship team may be capable of doing. So to me, I don't know. The song's fire, guys. You have to be there. And like, I want to play it so bad, but I don't want to get copyright. So guys, the song is Christ Alone, 2819. Go ahead and worship it. One more thing that I wanted to say, which kind of caught me off guard, and I don't understand what it is that they're talking about, is that, so this is at Black Church Talk. I'm not sure who these people are, but it caught me off guard. So Phillip Anthony Mitchell's church just dropped a new song, and they're saying it's the Christian dreams and nightmares. I don't understand what that means, and it's by Meek Mill. Now, I used to listen to Meek Mill a lot, and Meek Mill is surprisingly somebody that's heavy on, typical rap. So I don't see where the correlation would be. Like, if you take the lyrics of this song and didn't have the instruments and none of that, this song is still amazing. The lyrics are still proclaiming the faith, being bold of the truth. So it's like with Meek Mill's song, is it the same? I mean, maybe it is the same. I don't know. I just know that whatever is coming out of Meek Mill's mouth is not something that I would want to be listening to in the first place. So I'm not even going to dive into it. You guys could dive into it or let me know if that's actually the case. But this was just very interesting, guys. There's some people that just feel indifferent about it. I, for one, love the song. I played it, I don't even know how many times already. And the thing is, only those that are truly of the faith, would sing this song, would like this song. Because those that are maybe a little bit in the faith, if you're listening to the lyrics and that even that bridge part may make you feel a little weird, because that's essentially putting this faith, this truth above everything else. And I think a lot of people that claim to be Christian will not do that. But that's me personally. You guys let me know in the comment section, which I think I'm going to catch on next one. Take it easy.